thousands of people walk through those doors every weekend, and sometimes I'll actually come out in the lobby and just watch people as they come in, and I start thinking to myself, I wonder how many of these people are actually going to be in heaven with me. And I hope that doesn't sound judgmental, because I mean, I love these people. These are some of the people I love more than anyone else on the earth. But the thought does go through my mind, because I don't want to play a game here. I want this to be the real thing. And I think we'd all agree that just because a person goes to church, it doesn't mean they're going to heaven. And just because a person calls himself a Christian, it doesn't mean necessarily that they're really a follower of Jesus Christ. I mean, think about in your own church, what percentage would you think of the people that attend there are actually going to be in heaven? I've done so many funerals in this room, and yet some of those memorial services were like the greatest worship experiences of my life. I don't know if you've ever been to a funeral where the person who died was just one of those, I guess you could almost call them saints. Like they really lived it out. Like they were just godly people. It wasn't just the talk. They didn't just say they were Christians and quote all these verses. They lived them out. And I mean, even as I talk about that, I can think of people right now in my mind, services I did on the stage of people who passed away, friends of mine, and sometimes I even think about, man, what do their faces look like right now? Because I remember them on earth, and they had so much joy on earth because of their relationship with God, because they were so tight with Jesus. And I think, okay, what in the world did they feel the moment they saw him? And sometimes I'll talk to the crowd in here, and I'll say, hey, think about her. You guys know the way she was with Jesus, and think about what it was like when she first saw him, and that she's there right now, or he's there right now. And I mean, I look at my life, and there have been so many times where I've experienced like this crazy amount of joy. Like, wow, that was such a great experience. I was so happy. And then I think, man, nothing in my life, I've never even come close to feeling the amount of joy that those people feel right now and are feeling every moment in the presence of God. And so it's such a rush to be in a room, and you're supposed to be at this memorial service, and yes, everyone's crying, but at the same time, they're also smiling, they're also worshiping. I mean, sometimes we're screaming out in worship because we're so happy for this person. Meanwhile, tears are coming down our faces, and yet in the sadness, there's this look of peace. There's this look like, everything's good, everything's fine. I'm gonna miss this person like crazy, but I am so happy right now and so at peace. And then, you know, I have those, and then there's these other services where, honestly, I don't know, you know, and I look at a person's life and I think, okay, there's some good there, there's some questionable, I can't tell if they were genuine in their faith in God. So a lot of times I don't spend a lot of time even talking about the person. I'll just address everyone else out there. And then there's times when it's just flat out depressing. There are times when I literally am sick to my stomach before a funeral, because there's no hope. Like, there's nothing in that person's life to show me that they were truly followers of Jesus Christ. I mean, they'd be so accurately described, like in the Bible where it talks about the hardened path, or the rocky soil, or the thorny soil, like it. But definitely, you don't see the fruit, you don't see the result of someone who really loves Jesus Christ. And it's the one thing about my job that I still absolutely hate, and that's not an exaggeration. I can't stand walking up that aisle, coming up on this platform, giving a service, and meanwhile, in my heart, I'm thinking, there's absolutely no hope. And people will try to say things, but we all leave there, and it's not just me. Let's be honest, we've all left some of those services thinking, this is eternity. And I think for us as believers, those are the most depressing and sorrowful moments of our lives. When someone we know passes away, and there really wasn't much hope, much to hold on to. Every weekend at Cornerstone, we have people come up on the stage and get baptized. And it's so weird how baptism here in America is so different from other places in the world. Like I have some friends who are missionaries in India, and they told me, they go, Francis, it's just like in the New Testament times where people who get baptized here, the moment they enter that water, literally their families will leave them. Literally, they'll lose their jobs. They'll literally lose their homes. They'll lose everything because they decided to associate with Jesus Christ. In fact, one of my pastors, Matt, just came back from Iraq, and he was talking about how, he was talking about the believers there, and he made this statement. He says, what we call sanctification, they call prerequisite. In other words, out here, typically someone will say, okay, I'll become a Christian, and then later on in life, if they decide to give up some of their sin or give up another area of their life, we go, oh, look, they're growing in their walk with the Lord. And he says, well, out there, it's not like that. Out there, you make a decision. You decide, okay, I'm going to follow Jesus. That means I'm willing to give everything up right now. And by entering the baptismal waters, I'm saying I'm willing to lose everything, to lose it all. I give up my life. I literally die to myself to follow this Jesus because he is so worth it to me. And it's just like Jesus. When he taught the people, he wouldn't say, well, just believe in me, and then later on we'll decide what you want to give up, what you don't want to. No. He tells ahead of time. He goes, listen, are you sure you want to follow me? Are you sure you want to follow me? Count the cost.